right. Hi, I'm Jennifer Shin. I work as a full stack developer for Gilt Tech. And just to give you a little bit of background information, in case you don't know, we're an online shopping website and we provide members only access to fashion, home decor, and unique activities. Just to kind of give you a little bit of our scale, we have 8 million users worldwide and we ship to 180 countries. One of the unique challenges that we face is that because our sales go live at noon, we have a huge traffic spike then, and so we have a lot of kind of concurrency and load balancing issues. So that's really, really fun to deal with, or to handle. But one of the things that I personally really like about working for Gilt Tech is that we're really involved in the community. So we host not only a ton of meetups and we have free classes, but we also do a lot of volunteer work in the community. So last year, one of the events that we did was we teamed up with Girls Who Code. And we hosted the girls from Base High School and wrote some code with them. And apparently the girls had so much fun working with us that the boys at their high school got jealous, and we had the great privilege of hosting about 60 or so boys in our offices, which leads to what I wanted to talk about today. First off though, just to give you a little bit of background information, BASE stands for Bronx Academy of Software Engineering. It's a public high school that's designed to bring high-tech classes to underserved neighborhoods. And this was actually BASE's first year in their Harlem chapter. So the ninth graders that were actually joining us were the very first and only students to attend the school so far. Now with the girls, we did some really cool stuff. They actually designed and programmed their own webpage. And so since they seem to have generated all of this hype with the kids around them, we were like, okay, we have to really live up to the experience and make it above and beyond this time. So my boss, and kind of like the stroke of genius, was like, hey, let's program some robots. And it was really, really cool. That's exactly what we did. The technology that we used was Arduino. I don't know if anybody has heard of it here. Okay, cool. So it's super, super awesome. It's an open source prototyping platform. It consists of really easy to assemble hardware and super easy to program software. So it's programmed in C, and you'll see it's just very, very simple. It's open source too. And then you can hook up an Arduino to a wide variety of receivers. So you can see the example on the right side, I guess, is with an example with LED lights. This is one thing that we did with the kids. But then another, and the coolest part ever, of course, was making the robots do whatever we wanted it to do. So that was really cool. Let's see, this is a close-up snapshot of the Zumo robots, which is the robots that we used to program with. They're actually called Zumos because they're built for sumo wrestling. So you see that shovel in the front actually is built to kind of push other robots aside, and then whoever remains on top wins or something like that. But the cool part is that Zumo comes with all of these open source libraries. So you could do really cool stuff pretty easily. So it can play music, you can make it move around, and then also if the robot is on a light surface and you take down a dark track on it, then you can also make the robot follow that dark path. So just to give you a little code snippet of what it actually looks like, here's just like a super short code snippet. You can see a reference to motors over there, a delay, and button. So motors and button, those are actually references to classes that come inherently in the Zumo library. Like I said, you can download that off of GitHub. And then with that, you can see right off the bat, you do some really easy stuff with it. So for instance, you can make it go straight by setting the left and right speeds to the same time or the same speed. But then you can also make one side slower to make it turn. You can make it twirl. I can let you think about that a little bit to see how you make it do that. And then there's also a delay, so for however long you want to actually make the robot do X thing for. So then, what did we do with the kids? Let's see. So first we gave them some code that had some really basic functionality, and then it was their job to tweak the speeds, make the robots go in reverse, forward, do some cooler stuff that it was doing than what it was already doing. And this was the part that I was kind of scared about because it's pretty involving. I mean, we have like high school freshmen, they don't really know how to code, or some of them do, some don't, but they had to try to figure out what the code was doing, how it was doing it, and then try to make it better. But the kids really, really got into it. So the thumbnail is really bad. I don't know why the thumbnail is so bad, but here's an example of what the kids did with it.
Go for you.
Isn't a ball?
Well, your phone wasn't broken. That was so cool.
Do you want to do all four of them?
Alright, cool. So you can't really see very well. I'm sorry that I don't have like a better snippet of what we actually did, but they did like just a whole bunch of crazy stuff with it. So they made the robots go in reverse and see which one would always win. It turns out it's always the one that's coming on from like a higher surface because it has the momentum of gravity with it. Let's see, they also put their cell phones on top of the Zumos, so they got some really cool video of like the robot's perspective going through the track, which was something that we had never thought of. But I think one of the coolest parts was when the last exercise for the kids to do was actually to make the robots dance. And they actually got really into it. They got the whole twirl thing right away, so how to get that going. That was really awesome. And then we said, okay, now that you know how to do that, do it however way you want. Make the robots dance in your own style. And so one of the kids that was working with me in the kind of way, in that kind of excitement that you only get from kids was like, oh my God, let's make them do the Dougie. And I have to say, this was my reaction at first. So I learned something that day as well, not just the kids. Apparently, they taught us the steps, and in case you don't know, it's apparently like according to them, it's left, right, left, then right, left, right, right. And don't quote me on that because they could have just been pulling my chain. I don't really know. But what's really awesome is that's what we made the robots do. So we actually uploaded the same program to all 4 robots, and we got a kind of an NSYNC version of a robotic Dougie.
Okay, class, we started. We're gonna go.
Wait.
He feels so left out.
Go pro.
Don't press it.
Ready?
Alright. You guys ready? I'll record.
Am I gonna get hit in the face?
Jennifer, do you want to count to 3?
1. Okay, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so just do it on go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
They're pretty. That doggy.
Now they're just going like, now they're just on their own. I don't know what the.
Yeah, so the kids were pretty awesome, and we just had so much fun. Like we had so much fun, and they had so much fun. But I think the great thing about this clip is that it shows that, I mean, we were teaching them to program in C, but it's like they didn't learn it out of a textbook and they weren't just reading dry material. They actually were able to take that and kind of make it their own and really apply it into their own world, which was like really, really cool. Now, of course, no knowledge sharing session is ever complete with mutual knowledge sharing going back and forth. So I learned about the Dougie that day, and I also learned about something else that gives me nightmares until today. I don't know if you've heard of the commercials for Little Baby's ice cream, but it's absolutely horrendous. It's disgusting, and it's on YouTube if you're kind of into that thing. Basically being disturbed for life. But of course, it's really bad, I know. Let's see. But of course, I wouldn't be standing here today if it was only Little Baby's ice cream and the Dougie that I learned, right? Near the end of the day, our CEO, Michelle Pelusa, came in to talk to the kids, to answer any questions they had. And I was kind of thinking initially, like, what is the CEO of a company that has 1,000 employees, like, gonna talk and connect with to high school boys? But it was amazing. They asked her a ton of questions about the future for tech in New York City. They were really, really engaged. They had a great back and forth. And when I saw that connection, I thought, that was kind of the same feeling, or if not more so, for us engineers. They're not typically people that I'd be spending Wednesday afternoon with, but it was kind of an amazing feeling to be helping kids that don't necessarily have the same advantages that we might have had, but also just have a connection with people that you might never would have otherwise. And that's when I realized one really great thing about technology. Technology used to kind of feel like that big generation gap between like us and our parents' generation or grandparents' generation. But now it's completely different, and I don't want to sound canned or anything, but I really felt like it enabled us to bridge the gap between these two crazy different worlds. Like, not only educationally, we have something really valuable and tangible to impart to the student population, but also culturally. They showed me what the Dougie was, and that high school boys still like watching disgusting things on the internet. And of course, it empowers us to go beyond the daily 9 to 5 and really make an impact in unexpected but meaningful ways. So it was pretty cool.